Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else, this is John Paval with Access Arts Live and your Wednesday, February 25th live stream action update for today, because there's so much going on today. There are 9 different live streams going on today. The first of them starting in a couple hours from now, and the last of them finishing I think 14 hours from now. 9 different live streams, at least a dozen hours of enjoyment of truth and beauty and good times. And so I can't wait to get to telling you about all of them. We could have just posted a written notice, but with so much going on, I wanted to be able to give you some reminders about what a terrific lineup there is going on today. So without further ado, let me get to it. The first thing, that we have 2 organ recitals coming up this afternoon in just a couple hours European time. The first of them is Queen's College, Oxford, at 2:10 in the afternoon European time, 8:10 in the morning on the East Coast, and a little after midnight down under in Australia. It's Tingshuo Yang, who's a organ scholar at St. John's College, Cambridge, but that by no means tells this whole story about the guy. He'll be playing preludes and fugues by Bach and works by Langlais, by the tragically lost Jehan Alain, the French organist composer, and by Thomas Altwood Walmisley, or Walmisley, whom I do not know, but it certainly sounds like a British composer who it's worth getting to know. What you need to know about Tingshuo Wang, he's not just an organ scholar, he is an expert pianist. He already graduated from the Luxembourg Conservatory 5 years ago as a pianist with diplomas for performance. And he's also an award-winning composer. He's won awards at more than one composers competitions. And he's a member of the Royal College of Organists already as of last year. So he's a top guy. It'll be playing top music. And he's after all that, he's studying very modestly for a bachelor's in music at Cambridge. And then 5 minutes after he starts at 2:15 in the afternoon here in Europe, 8:15 in the morning on the East Coast, and quarter after midnight down under in Australia, the Temple Church of London will be live streaming its weekly live stream with its music director and chief organist, Charles Andrews, at the keyboards. He also happens to be professor of organ and coordinator of organs at the Royal College of Music, which has a long-standing relationship with the Temple Church of London. So there's your choice. We can't tell you what he's playing because he didn't tell us. And if you want more details, go to our organ live stream roundup, which we did on Monday, 2 days ago, and gives you more details about all of that. Then after that, 6 hours later, well, 4 hours later, 6 o'clock in the evening European time, noon on the East Coast, 9 in the morning on the West Coast, March Vivo will be live streaming the 5th and last session of this terrific week-long Bach festival, which was the complete solo works of Johann Sebastian Bach on harpsichord, on violins, on a trio playing his inventions. And today it's Adolfo Gutiérrez Arenas playing the complete cello suite, which he actually recorded a few years ago already. So an expert rendition of that for all of you Bach lovers and cello lovers out there. Then we move on to a couple of symphonies in the evening here in Europe, which will be in the midday in the US. First, Müpa in Budapest, Hungary. Jean-Claude Casadesus, the near legendary French conductor, will be leading the National Philharmonic in a program of Debussy and Saens, which includes the Saens Symphony No. 3 for organ, with the young Aurélien Pascal playing the Saens Cello Concerto No. 1. Casadesus has been around since the 1970s when he founded the orchestra in Lille, France, and then started taking it on the road. It became he's part of they call him one of the doyen of international conductors. And but with him is this young guy, Aurélien Pascal, who I think is 29 years old or something like that, and up and coming. They're both French, and they're playing all French music. It's hard to beat that. Okay, that's at 7:30 in the evening European time, 1:30 in the afternoon on the East Coast, 10:30 in the morning on the West Coast. Then an hour after that, the Bournemouth Symphony starts up with their chief conductor, Mark Wigglesworth, conducting Elgar's Second Symphony, and then Clara-Jumi Kang playing Beethoven's Violin Concerto. They played together last May, when she played Britten's Violin Concerto. Together with Wigglesworth and the Bournemouth Symphony. Well, I'll have more details about both of these concerts later today at 6 or 7 in the evening European time, noon or 1 o'clock on the East Coast, etc. And when I do the big stage live stream roundup for this week. Then after that, at the same time actually as Bournemouth, Wigmore Hall is live streaming a top performance of Schubert's best song cycle, and maybe the greatest song cycle ever written, Die schöne Müllerin. It's Konstantin Krimmel, the operatic baritone, and Amiel Bushakevich, who is a top recital pianist. And they're coming together to do this top piece by Schubert. And Krimmel recorded it in 2023, and he won the Preis der deutschen Schallplattenkritik, the German record critics award for it. So this is top of the line all over the place. If you're a Schubert lover or a Lieder lover, this is for you. And if you don't know Schubert's Die schöne Müllerin, this is a great occasion for you to learn to enjoy it, and it's free of charge. Okay, then after that, we move over to the U.S. side of the water. 6 o'clock in the evening in Washington, D.C., 3 o'clock in Los Angeles, midnight here in Europe, 10 o'clock Thursday morning down under in Australia. The Trump Kennedy Center Millennium Stage live streams the U.S. Naval Academy Band Chamber Players. This will be different ensembles grouped together as brass and woodwinds. And don't be thinking, oh, well, it's a Navy band. It's not top quality. These are quality live streams. The Air Force did one last weekend, and they give out fairly sophisticated explanations of the pieces they're choosing and why they're playing it, but also understandable to a popular audience. So they'll be playing traditional works and new works, which they received. They do a call for new compositions for these kinds of ensembles every year, and they'll be playing some of those at this concert. That's not all. We still have 2 more live streams coming for you today. Then at 7:30 p.m., an hour and a half later on the East Coast, 4:30 in the afternoon on the West Coast, 1:30 in the morning here in Europe, the Philadelphia Chamber Music Society live streams a highly interesting, very contemporary now music performance. It's Nathalie Joachim on the flute and Yvonne Lamb on the violin, performing Joachim's piece Solitude plus SPACE, which spells space, but I think it's meant to be pronounced the letters because they're in capitals with spaces between the letters. Anyway, Nathalie Joachim is a flautist composer, Grammy nominated for one of her projects, and Yvonne Lamb is a Grammy Award winner, which she won with an ensemble with which she was the artistic co-director. More about both of them in the live stream we did yesterday on this week's chamber music live streams. I can tell you the piece is highly topical. It's about how atomized we've become in an age when we're hyper-connected. When you go on public transport, at least here in Europe, you see couples or friends together, and they're not talking to each other. They're both looking at their phones. You see parents with their children, and they're all on their phones rather than interacting with each other. And how do we negotiate and work with being so connected and yet so separate? Really topical. Great idea. I mean, if you want to create something now with classical music, it's hard for me to imagine doing it better than that. I can't say what it's going to sound like or if you'll like it. But anyway, for more information, because there's a lot more to it, do check out the yesterday's live stream we did on all of the chamber music stuff. And then finally, to round out your day, if you're an accordion lover, Roulette Intermedium Theater, the Avant-Garde Center in New York City, is live streaming a memorial concert for a top accordionist named Guy Kluchevsek, which has been put together by his wife and friends and collaborators during the many years of his careers. If you want to know more, again, check out the live stream we did on chamber music, in which I would quote for you a number of news reviews on what a wonderful, unique accordionist he was, and what a standout accordionist he was in his time, which ended last May of 2025. May he rest in peace. Folks, that's what we have for you in terms of a live stream lineup, which I just find that's terrific for a Wednesday. You know, this is just Wednesday. This is not a big deal. This is not a weekend or anything. And I think that what the last one from Roulette Intermedium doesn't start till 2:00 in the morning, our time here in Europe. So it'll end at like 3:30. It's like, as I said, this is like 15 hours of live streams and all. And they're almost all just one right after another. So I commend all of this to you. And before I go, let me remind you, if you love this kind of programming or just like it, do yourself a favor, follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live on Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, or LinkedIn. I'll be back at 6 or 7 in the evening European time today, which is noon or 1:00 on the East Coast. Watch for the notice of it if you want to tune in live with the roundup of orchestral and operatic works this week. We have at least 2 operatic works for me to tell you about. So it'll be a lovely, lovely week. And with that, I will close. Ciao for now.